Guys, quick notice. My friend just started a new channel. He lost his last channel. Please subscribe to his channel. The link is the first in the description. Let's support the Dragon Ball community to continue growing. His stories are very good. Do this. It's free. Don't forget to like the video, and let's go.
With the passing of the years, Goku would become incredibly strong. He had surpassed the same gods, earning his respect. He still did not surpass the angels, but that was not relevant, since the angels were impartial beings who only guided the gods and did not make decisions for themselves. Despite being respected by the gods of destruction and the Hakaishins, the angels still saw him with bad eyes. They did not like at all that a mortal would get so much power in a short time, because they would consider it a neglect by the gods. In any case, Goku had the support of the kings of everything and Grand Priest. On the part of the angels, only Whis and Vedas had a good relationship with him. One day, Goku would arrive on the planet of Beerus. Vegeta was being trained by the angel, since he was about to be god of destruction. "Kakarot, what do you want? I'm busy training," Vegeta would say in a bad mood. He just came to see Whis. He wanted to face him. Goku would say, "Oh, don't tell me you're still going to surpass the angels?" Whis would say, "Of course. I won't rest until I'm the strongest," Goku would say. "And after that, what will you do?" Beerus would ask. "What are you talking about?" Goku would ask, confused. "You always want to be the strongest, and one day, maybe you will achieve it. But what will happen after that?" Beerus would comment. "Maybe you haven't thought about it, but if one day you become the strongest of all, you will no longer have a purpose in your life. If one day I become the strongest, someone will want to be stronger than me. It is part of the balance of this reality," Goku would say. "Wow, I see that you are clear about it," Whis would say. "Yes, I hope that is Vegeta," Goku would say. "I miss fighting him." "You will see that one day that will happen, and you will regret it," Vegeta would say. Goku would start laughing at Vegeta's reaction. "When I'm ready," Whis would say. Goku and Whis would be on guard, since they were ready to fight. Whis would notice that there was something different about Goku. "Wow, I see that he is trained very hard," Whis would say. "That's right," Goku would say. Goku would throw himself with everything towards Whis. He would arrive with a fist blow that the angel would dodge as if nothing. Then Goku would attack with a series of consecutive blows at high speed. Whis moved from side to side, dodging each of the attacks. Then Goku would transform into Super Saiyan, increasing his power. He would continue attacking, increasing his speed, but it was not enough. Then he would go to Super Saiyan Phase 2, then to 3, then to God, and then to finish with the Super Saiyan Blue. Only at that moment, Whis would get serious. In a moment, Goku would hold Whis's uniform, but the angel would manage to remove his hand from above by applying a key. "Demons, it hurts," Goku would say. "That happens to him for wanting to make fun of an angel," Whis would say. Goku would exploit his ki to the maximum, managing to get rid of Whis's ki. "Not bad, that was amazing," Whis would say. Goku would start raising his ki even more than before. Whis would notice that things were going seriously, so he would put himself on guard. Then, Goku would throw everything at Whis, attack him again, but this time it was different. Whis not only dodged the attacks, he was also forced to cover himself from them because they did represent a difficulty. In a moment, Whis would hit Goku's face, throwing him several meters back. But as soon as Goku arrived, he would turn. He would turn around, throwing a kick that would rub Whis's cheek. The angel could not believe it. He had dodged it, but certainly his foot rubbed the angel's cheek, causing him a slight cut. "I can't believe it," Whis would say, disconcerted. Then Whis, in response, gives him a hammer blow. Goku would fall hard, hitting the ground. Only with that blow, Goku would be out of combat, losing his transformation. "Heavens, that did hurt," Goku would say. "That happens to you for wanting to underestimate angels. You did not achieve anything with your wisdom," Beerus would say. "None of that," Whis would say. "On the contrary, he managed to do something that a mortal never imagined to do." Whis would show his face. He had a slight cut. "It's not possible," said the astonished Vegeta. "Goku did that?" said Beerus. "That's right," Whis would say. "It's not much, but it's honest work," Goku would say. The truth is that I have to congratulate him, although I recommend that he does not spread this rumor to the rest of my brothers. I don't think they like it at all, Whis would say. I understand, Goku would say. Well, at least my training had results. I'll be back when I'm stronger. It can't be. A mortal managed to hurt an angel, something that not even a god of destruction could do, Beerus would say. Demons, I can't let the power difference between Kakarot and I get bigger and bigger. Furious Vegeta would say, raise his ki to the maximum, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, he would throw himself at Goku. He would arrive with a direct fist blow to his face, but Goku would not receive the slightest damage. Vegeta would continue to attack him, but it would make no sense. You're just making a fool of yourself, Beerus would say. Goku would hold Vegeta by the wrist, apply a ki to him that would leave him motionless. I want you to remember this pain for the rest of your life so that it feeds you to one day surpass me, Goku would say. Goku would break Vegeta's wrist, causing him great pain. His bones in that area were completely broken. I can't believe it! What's going on with you? Beerus would ask annoyingly. I just motivate him. Whis, don't cure him, please. Goku would leave Beerus's planet, leaving Vegeta wounded. Mr. Vegeta, come and I will heal your wrist, Whis would say. Don't be an idiot, furious Vegeta would say. Kakarot said you don't cure it and you won't. Wow, that's the pride of a Saiyan, Beerus would say, smiling and understanding Goku's action. Okay, but you'll have to do something if you don't want to have a permanent injury, Whis would say. Goku would continue his journey through both universes, looking for a way to strengthen even more. That was good, but I still have a long way to go, Goku would say. While Goku traveled through Universe 5, he would find strange ruins in the middle of space. They were parts of buildings held in small remains of some planet. Heavens, it seems like this belonged to some kind of civilization,
Goku would say. Goku would enter a temple in ruins, begin to review its interior. He would find strange letters carved on the walls, which for him were impossible to decipher. How strange. It must be some planet that was destroyed, Goku would say. But these structures shouldn't be like this. Goku would go to Arak's planet since it was his universe. They would pose the situation to him. Goku, what are you doing here? Arak would say. Arak's angel would despicably observe Goku. I found something strange. I would like you to come and see it with me, Goku would say. What are you talking about? Arak would ask. It seems to be some kind of lost civilization, but the strange thing is that the remains of a city are floating in space, Goku would say. The remains of a city? Arak would say, confused. That's right. Come with me. I'll take you, Goku would say. Moments later, Goku would arrive with Arak and his angel to that area. The different parts of the city were seen floating through space. This is not a civilization of a planet destroyed, Arak would say. Oh no? Goku would say. No, this was a base built in space, Arak would say. At least some kind of deity must have lived here? Goku and Arak would enter the temple that was in better condition. Maybe you should call your Kaioshin to inspect it. He may recognize what form of life it is, Goku would say. No, the Kaioshin is newer than me in Universe 5. I know all civilizations. If I don't recognize it, he doesn't either, Arak would say. After walking for several minutes, Goku would see a bright object in the distance. It seemed to be some kind of altar. What is that? Goku would ask. Goku would find a strange orb that shone intensely. Goku, don't touch that if you don't know what it is, Arak would say. It's okay. It looks like a precious stone, Goku would say. The orb would begin to shine more intensely. Suddenly, it would release a large amount of energy. Small lines would be drawn on Goku's body, as if his veins illuminated the inside. Then, the entire temple would shine. They were engraved letters, as if they were coming to life. Heavens! I feel like something is not going to go well, Goku would say. Suddenly, Goku would scream in pain. The orb would shine even more intensely. Demons, I told you not to touch it, Arak would say. Hakai. Arak would use Hakai on the orb, but the orb would reject it. It can't be. How does that reject Hakai? Arak, disconcerted, would ask. If that happens, it's because that orb is not from this reality, the angel would say. That doesn't make sense, Arak would say. Goku's eyes would light up white. His body would release light everywhere.
his body would be completely covered in light, blinding Arak and his angel. In both universes, all the angels would feel a strange sensation. They would feel as if something was about to happen. Wow, it's as if reality was vibrating, Vadis would say. Vadis, what's going on? Champa would ask. I hope nothing bad, Vadis would say. On the planet of Senosama, the kings of everything and Grand Priest would also feel it. What was that? A Senosama would ask. Yes, what was that? Another Senosama would ask. I'll investigate it, Grand Priest would say. Meanwhile, the lighting would end. The temple would repair itself. All the pieces released by space would group together, forming a small, flat terrain with the temple completely rebuilt. Goku was on the ground unconscious. Demons! I hope nothing has happened to him, Arak would say. Arak would attend to Goku. He would open his eyes slowly. Goku, are you okay? Arak would ask. I feel weird, Goku would say. The kings of everything would arrive with Grand Priest. What happened? Both Senosamas would ask, while Grand Priest would observe the whole place carefully. Interesting, Grand Priest would say. I'm not sure. I touched an orb and passed out, Goku would say. Goku would stand up, although he felt something different. Heavens, it's as if my body had rejuvenated, Goku would say. You haven't noticed, but your essence has changed, Grand Priest would say. Really? Goku would say, confused, although he didn't know what he was talking about. On the other hand, in another reality, there was an evil Saiyan named Kumber. He would feel Goku's action. Toa would arrive with him when she felt the same as him. I love Kumber. Someone has activated the divine orb, Toa would say. Perfect! That means we have a new reality to visit, Kumber would say. Do you want me to start with the preparations? Toa would say. It won't be necessary, Kumber would say. At this point, there is no one who can face me. Kumber and Toa belonged to another completely different reality. Outside of the two universes, Kumber was a Saiyan who was not only evil, but also a devourer of realities, since he fed on absorbing them. Now Goku's reality was in danger, because by using the orb, he managed to break the barrier that separated the realities. Goku would feel like a new power was passing through his body. Grand Priest would see it clearly. Mr. Goku, something has changed in you, Grand Priest would say. Really? Goku would say, confused, although he didn't know what he was talking about.
Yes, I can feel it, but I don't know what it is, Goku would say. It can't be. You are a divine being, the Angel of Universe 5 would say. What do you mean? Goku would ask. It's true. That explains his change of essence, Grand Priest would say. Hey, I don't understand anything you're saying, Goku would say. He has become a divine being. He is no longer a mortal. Now his energy is compared to the gods, or perhaps the angels, Grand Priest would say. What? All for that stone? Goku would say. It must be, Grand Priest would say. Grand Priest would observe the walls, paying attention to the letters engraved. I'll have to try to translate this to find out what it says. I imagine it has to do with the orb you consumed, Grand Priest would say. It seems that now the temple is connected to you. Wow, that's strange, Goku would say. I know, I'll go see Whis again. Goku would disappear with the teleportation. I don't understand. Why does he want to see Whis? Arrow would say, confused. It must be to test his new state, Grand Priest would say. He just fought a moment ago, so he will tell me his powers. Goku would return to the planet of Beerus, surprising everyone with his early visit. Goku, what do you want? You just left a few hours ago, Beerus would say. I come to see Whis. I need a rematch, Goku would say. I understand. I imagine it has something to do with the phenomenon that just happened, Whis would say. Yes, that's right, Goku would say. Wait, what phenomenon are you talking about? Beerus would say, confused, since Whis had not yet said anything about it. Then I'll tell you. It's not the time yet, Whis would say. Mr. Goku, when do you want it? Goku would raise his ki to the maximum, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Everyone would notice the big difference in Goku. Now he was a real god for his new divine power that no one understood how he got it.
Goku would throw everything at Whis. The angel would hold his fist attack, but he should make a great effort to retain it. "I can't believe it," Whis would say, amazed. "That's right, my new power will match you," Goku would say. Goku and Whis would begin to exchange blows at great speed. Incredibly, both fought at the same level. They moved everywhere using all kinds of techniques, but even so, the fight would be long, since there was no clear advantage. "I don't understand. How did it get so strong?" Beerus would say, disconcerted. The blows between them sounded with great power resounding in the sky. Both would take distance, and a powerful ki attack would be launched that would cancel each other. After several minutes, we see Goku and Whis agitated. Both began to exhaust themselves from the fight. Then they would descend slowly. It seemed that they no longer had a desire to continue fighting. "That was something amazing. I haven't had a fight like that in a long time," Whis would say. "Yes, the truth is that this power is something incredible," Goku would say. "Now, tell me how he got it," Whis would say seriously. "Okay," Goku would say. Goku would begin to give them all the details about the Temple of Universe 5, addition to what happened with the mysterious orb. "How interesting," Whis would say. "How strange that that orb could turn him into a divine being. Yes, they said something about another reality, but I didn't understand it very well," Goku would say. "Anyway, the important thing now is to train very hard and get stronger and stronger." "Goku, I don't think you should take this lightly," Beerus would say. "If you have that power, it's because someone left it there for some reason. You don't even know which civilization it belongs to. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?" Goku would ask. Grand Priest was with Eric and his angel examining the temple. "Wow, it seems that the orb's energy was blocking the passage of this place," Grand Priest would say. "From what it says here, it's not a temple, it's a portal," Era would say. The orb's bearer turned Goku into a divine being, but that allows the operation of this site. Goku acts something like a lighthouse for other beings to come. "Heavens, it seems to be very dangerous," Era would say. Suddenly, the entire temple would begin to tremble. A portal would originate where the orb had initially been found. From there, Cumber and Toa would come out. "I can't believe it," Grand Priest would say. "They are devourers of realities." "What?" Era would say. "They feed on the other realities, consuming them completely. That's why this temple was sealed," Grand Priest would say. "I see that you know too much," Cumber would say. "I can imagine that you are something like that, like a wise man or something like that. My name is Grand Priest. I am the Supreme Priest, right hand of the King of all Inzema," Grand Priest would say. "What?" Cumber would say, confused. Toa would speak to his ear to explain himself better. "Ah, so that's how it works here," Cumber would say. "That's not important. I came to devour this reality." Cumber would unleash a great wave of energy, expelling Eric and his angel from afar. Grand Priest remained as if nothing, since for him, Cumber was nothing. "I'm sorry, but I don't have time for this," Grand Priest would say. Cumber would throw himself at Grand Priest with everything. He would attack him with a powerful punch, but Grand Priest would sustain the attack with just the tip of his finger. "It is not possible," Cumber would say, confused. Cumber would attack Grand Priest with everything, but none of his attacks would be effective. The power of the Supreme Priest was well above Cumber. "It's not bad at all, but he looks a little weak to be a devourer of realities," Grand Priest would say. Cumber studied the fight carefully. He could appreciate Grand Priest's true power just by watching him move. "I understand that he is one of those," Cumber would say. Cumber would not give up on anything in the world. He would continue to attack the Supreme Priest with everything. In a moment, Grand Priest would hold Cumber by the neck and squeeze him hard. "I think it would be best if you went home again," Grand Priest would say. "Never," Cumber would say, furious when transforming into Super Saiyan. A Saiyan, Grand Priest would say, astonished when he released him. I haven't eaten in a long time, so I'm very weak, Cumber would say. If I could only devour a universe, everything would be much easier and I would break your head like nothing. Yes, I understand, but that's not going to happen, Grand Priest would say. Cumber would launch himself again with everything towards Grand Priest, and despite having transformed into Super Saiyan, his attacks on him were still useless. I don't understand how someone can be so strong, Cumber would ask, disconcerted. Cumber would distance himself and launch a great ki attack towards Grand Priest. Grand Priest, with just a stretch of his hand, would manage to stop the attack. After a great explosion in front of him, a smoke screen would cover Grand Priest. Cumber was on the side of Toa. This won't be like this, Cumber would say. Toa would hit his staff on the ground and both would be fired from there in a ray of energy. I can't believe it, Grand Priest would say. At that moment, Goku and Whis were with their eyes closed as they witnessed the fight from afar. It can't be true. He's a Saiyan just like me, Goku would say. Imagine what the other angels will say about you, Whis would say. Heavens, I can already imagine it, Goku would say, annoyed. This will be a problem. Goku, you will have to take care of this because it is your responsibility, Beerus would say. Whis, can you find those subjects? Goku would ask. I wish it were that easy, but not belonging to this reality is complicated, Whis would say. Their energies are totally different from what we know, and that makes them difficult to track. Demons, this is very dangerous, Goku would say. I think you shouldn't have touched that orb, Beerus would say. I know. I never imagined that doing it would trigger this, Goku would say. I'll go talk to Grand Priest to find a solution. Meanwhile, Goku would reach the planet of Senosama. Mr. Goku, I imagine you are aware of everything, Grand Priest would say. I know, we have to find that subject and finish him before he wants to devour this reality, Goku would say. Hey, Senosamas, can you disappear? No, we can't, Senosama would say. It does not belong to this reality, so we cannot disappear it, Senosama would say. Demons, this will be difficult. Whis told me that it was difficult to find them, Goku would say. Although you should be able to find them, Grand Priest would say, I'm sure that power that flows through your body could be used to track it. It's true, Goku would say, although I don't know how to do it. On the other hand, Cumber was hidden somewhere in Universe 9. I still couldn't believe that there was someone as strong as Grand Priest. This is unheard of, Cumber would say. How is it possible that there is someone with that power? It is an angel. It is a being that is equivalent to my race of demons, Toa would say. It seems that he is trained very hard, and if my suspicions are true, he must be much stronger than the king of all this place. I have to absorb some universe to strengthen myself, but by doing so, I would attract his attention. I must be careful with my steps, because the next time I face him, I will not come out alive, Cumber would say. Maybe we can generate a distraction, Toa would say. Toa would take his staff since he was looking for the most information available about the two universes. I think I have an idea, Toa would say. Vegeta was meditating on the planet of Beerus. I still couldn't forget how Goku became so strong out of nowhere. Suddenly, I would hear Toa's voice in his mind. Do you want to be stronger than Goku? Toa would ask. Who are you? Vegeta would say seriously. Someone who can give you the opportunity to defeat your greatest enemy, Toa would say. I don't care. Oh, I understand. I guess you will die under the shadow of Goku, Toa would say, trying to provoke Vegeta, and he seemed to achieve it. What is your plan? Vegeta would ask when he gave in. I just need you to come to a specific place, but you have to come alone, Toa would say. Okay, Vegeta would say. Vegeta would manage to escape from the planet of Beerus without Beerus and Whis noticing. Then he would arrive at the place mentioned somewhere in Universe 7. Toa would show himself to him. "I see that you really want to beat Goku," Toa would say. "Talk and don't waste my time," Vegeta would say. "If you help us, I will give you the power you need. But we need you to fight Goku, even if you can't beat him," Toa would say. "I don't understand. Why do they want to do something like that?" Vegeta would say. "That's none of your business. We just need you to fight him," Toa would say. "Whatever. I want that power right now," Vegeta would say in a bad mood. Toa would point to Vegeta. Dark energy would begin to surround his body. Suddenly, Vegeta would feel an intense pain everywhere. But that would bring the reward of a great power. Vegeta would feel it clearly. It was much stronger than before. "This power is something unprecedented," Vegeta would say. "Don't trust him. It's not enough to beat him, but it is to fight him," Toa would say. "If he can do what we ask, we will make him even stronger." "I'll go for Kakarot right now," Vegeta would say. On the planet of Beerus, the god of destruction did not find Vegeta anywhere. "Damn it, I hope he doesn't go crazy," Bill would say seriously when thinking about what Vegeta could be. Vegeta would begin to elevate his ki, showing a great ability. He knew he was much stronger than before, but he was not clear how far he was from Goku's level. Even so, he would notice a very particular energy. "This feels weird," Vegeta would say. "It's like a kind of negative energy." "Don't tell me you're sorry," Toa would say seriously. "My priority is to be stronger than Kakarot. I don't care about the rest." Cumber would show up. His presence would terrify Vegeta. "What kind of Saiyan is this?" Vegeta would wonder, disconcerted. "So you are Vegeta," Cumber would say. "We have given you great power, and keeping that energy inside you will make you immune to Zeno-sama. So I don't want you to waste this opportunity. You can fight Goku without the king of this reality disappearing from you." "I understand," Vegeta would say. "But first, I want to know why you give me this power. I can see that you are much stronger than me." "That's none of your business," Cumber would say seriously. "Now go fight Goku and try to get a lot of attention." Vegeta would leave there, while Cumber would remain hidden within the Universe 9. Goku was trying to track Cumber's energy, but it didn't seem to be easy. "It doesn't matter. I can't feel his presence," Goku would say. In a moment, Goku would feel something strange. Vegeta's presence, but distorted. "What happened to him?" Goku would say, disconcerted. "Mr. Goku, does something happen?" Whis would say. "Vegeta is different," Goku would say. "It's true. Vegeta is lost. I've been looking for him all over the planet, but he hasn't given any signs of life," Beerus would say. "Oh, now I can feel it," Whis would say. Vegeta's presence would be felt by Whis. "Heavens, I think he's done something stupid," Whis would say, disappointed. Vegeta would finally arrive. His presence was different, but so was his image. You could see a certain dark outline in his eyes. Vegeta was conquered by Cumber's negative energy. "Vegeta, what the hell did you do?" Goku would say, seriously. "I just added a slight improvement," Vegeta would say. "It's not fair that you get really strong and I stay in your shadow. So I use this to reach you." "I miss you," Whis would say. "Someone who claims to be a proud subject, I don't understand. Where did that pride go when you committed such a low act?" "Shut up, Whis. You're not my teacher anymore," Vegeta would say. "How did he say?" Whis would say, seriously. Whis would show himself really furious with Vegeta for the much misplaced way in which he had directed himself towards him. Whis would go to Vegeta, but he would notice that the Saiyan emanated dark energy. "Whis, wait!" Goku would say, alert. Vegeta would transform into Super Saiyan Blue, unleashing a great power. Whis would punch the Saiyan, but Vegeta, despite receiving it, would not take a step back. Then, Vegeta would answer with the same attack. Whis would fall to the ground several meters away. "It's not true," Beerus would say, astonished. "It can't be that Vegeta has surpassed the angels," Whis would say, furious. Goku would stand in front of Whis. He was ready to fight. "Whis, leave this to me," Goku would say seriously. "I will help him," Whis would say. "I said leave it to me," Goku would say. By transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, the power that Goku unleashed would surprise the angel. He would realize that when they fought, Goku had not really used all his powers. "It's incredible. He was holding back with me," Whis would say, upset. "Vegeta, I don't know how to fix this." "You're contaminated," Goku would say. "Look at you. Your ki has negative energy. I don't know how much it bothers you. After all, when you touched that orb, you acquired a great power." Vegeta would say, "You were the least suitable to speak. You're just jealous that I also acquired this power. After all, it has the same origin." "Don't be stupid," Goku would say, when squeezing his fist with impotence. "Come on, what are you waiting for to fight?" Vegeta would say. Goku and Vegeta would raise their ki to the maximum, and they would throw each other to start fighting. At that moment, Toa would see everything from his hiding place. "They already started," Toa would say. "It's perfect," Cumber would say. Now that they are fighting, everyone's attention will be gained and they will not be able to detect the anomaly in the universe. The fight between Goku and Vegeta would be so intense that it would attract the attention of all the gods. In that way, each of them would go there. Vegeta did not reach Goku's level, but he had enough power to fight him. At one point, Goku and Vegeta would hold hands and begin to force each other. "Vegeta, you have to stop all this," Goku would say. "You can't let yourself be manipulated by that devourer of universes." "This is not about the universes, it's about us," Vegeta would say. "I will not let you be better than me." "You wanted it," Goku would say. Goku would hit Vegeta on the head, forcing him to let go. At that moment, Vegeta would fall to the ground. Goku would attack him with several ki balls, but Vegeta would jump, dodging them. "It's really strong," Vados would say. "What is unforgivable is that two Saiyans are able to surpass the angels," Vegeta would say. "Something is wrong. Why would Vegeta be so strong with that evil energy?" Grand Priest would say. "This must have some other meaning behind it." At that moment, while the fight went on, Cumber would leave space. He was in some inhospitable part of Universe 9. "This is the perfect moment," Toa would say. "Perfect," Cumber would say. Cumber would stretch his arms to the sides. He would begin to absorb everything at his pace. Little by little, his power would increase. The other angels were so focused on Goku and Vegeta's fight that they would not give importance to the rest. Goku, little by little, would take advantage. Although incredibly, Vegeta would move away from the fight more and more. Toa would see it all. She was really surprised. "Wow, it seems that the Saiyans of this reality are also warriors who expand their limits," Toa would say. The trio of danger was on a planet assaulting innocent people, until they realized that everything around them would begin to tremble. "What is going on?" Bergamo would say. Bergamo would observe his hands. He would see flashes of energy coming out of him as if he were losing energy. The same would happen to his other two brothers and with all the rest that was around them. "It can't be," terrified Bergamo would say. Grand Priest would realize the trap, but it would be too late. "Something is happening in the Universe 9, Grand Priest would say. Mojito would look with his binoculars. He would find Cumber absorbing the Universe 9. "All this was a trap," Mojito would say. It was too late to do anything. A few seconds later, Cumber would absorb the entire Universe 9, disappearing it completely. His power had increased since absorbing the Universe 9 had helped him recover his energies. "Damn it, I was waiting for him to leave the universe to do this," Mojito would say. Grand Priest would reach Vegeta in an instant. He would hold him by the neck, leaving him motionless. "This must be a joke," Grand Priest would say. Goku would say, disconcerted. "Mr. Vegeta is a lackey of Cumber. He has only helped him distract us so that he could absorb Universe 9, Grand Priest would say. "It can't be," Goku would say, furious. "Vegeta, tell me it's not true." "Let me go," Vegeta would say. Grand Priest would attack Vegeta with a ki beam in his stomach, piercing him from side to side. Vegeta would lose a lot of blood. He would put his eyes in white, losing his life, and after that, Grand Priest would drop him to the ground. "Vegeta!" Goku would say, sad. I couldn't forgive an act like this. His selfishness caused the disappearance of a universe and the strengthening of our rival. Grand Priest would say, heavens, this got even more complicated than before. Goku would say, Father, Cumber has become very strong. Do you think you can against him? Whis would say. I'll only know when I meet him, Grand Priest would say. On the other hand, Cumber and Toa were heading to Universe 10. It was the next goal. I guess you don't need distractions anymore, Toa would say. I don't know if this power is enough, but I could absorb another universe before someone finds me, Cumber would say. I can't stay still. They must have realized that I used a distraction. Cumber would stretch his arms and begin to observe Universe 10. Nobody would start doing it. Grand Priest would come interrupting him. Well, you didn't take long to find me, said Cumber. I see that you are a very attentive Supreme Priest. You are a damn cheater. You use the will of a mortal to buy time and get out with yours, said Grand Priest. I don't know what you expect me to tell you. I am a devourer of worlds after all, said Cumber. Were you expecting a fair duel? Goku would come along with Whis and Vados. With what is here, said Goku. Look who came, the guy who opened the connection to this world, said Cumber. You are a damn, I'll end you, said Goku. Goku would transform into Super Saiyan Blue and throw himself at Cumber with everything, but the Supreme Priest would stand in front of him, avoiding him to attack him. Grand Priest, said Goku. I know you've gotten very strong, but Cumber beats you, said Grand Priest. Leave this to me. These kinds of threats belong to me. Grand Priest would reach Cumber with a strong fist blow, but the evil Saiyan would move to one side, dodging the attack. Cumber would respond with a strong elbow in the middle of his back. Grand Priest would fall at great speed, but the Supreme Priest would stop his impulse. Cumber would return and attack him at great speed. Both would begin to exchange blows in a surprising way. Goku could not believe it. Never in his life had he seen the Supreme Priest fight that way. That's the level of Grand Priest, said Goku. It's true, he never witnessed him fighting, said Whis. If our father can't with him, we won't have any hope, said Vados. Don't say that. No one can beat Grand Priest, said Goku. We'll see about that, said Whis. Cumber and Grand Priest would continue to fight. Surprisingly, they had similar powers. I never thought you were so strong, said Cumber. It's a shame, but anyway, I'll have to eliminate you. Don't think I'll leave it so easy for you, said Grand Priest. Both would throw a fist blow at each other, creating a great wave of energy. Meanwhile, Goku would watch Toa. She was watching everything from afar. That woman must be his assistant, said Goku. That seemed to look like a demon, said Whis. Maybe if we take care of her, we can make her reveal some weakness of Cumber, said Goku as he raised his ki to the maximum. Wait, Mr. Goku, said Vados. Goku would throw everything at Toa, but before reaching her, he would bounce. He had collided with a barrier that had protected him. What is he trying to do? Said Toa, as if nothing. Damn! What kind of being are you? Said Goku. I am not his rival. He has nothing to talk to me, said Toa. I don't care. You're on Cumber's side, so you're the enemy too, said Goku. Goku would try to advance towards Toa, but the barrier wouldn't let him pass. He would make a great effort to get past her, but it would be difficult for him. Then, Goku would attack the barrier with a great rain of fist blows. The barrier would crack little by little until it would completely break it. Then, Goku would go to Toa, but she would point it out with her staff, throwing a great ray of energy. Goku would retreat several meters while suffering the great wound. Goku was very hurt, but Whis and Vados would go for him as soon as possible. Goku, for God's sake, that was crazy, Whis would say. Damn, that woman is very strong,
Goku would say. "I don't understand why she's not the one fighting." "We don't know much about their origins yet. It's not convenient for her to hurry," Vados would say. Cumber and Grand Priest were still in combat, although Grand Priest was having problems. He was starting to have a disadvantage against Cumber. "I don't see you as confident as you were a moment ago," Cumber would say. "It's not all about confidence," Grand Priest would say. Grand Priest would join his hands and launch a great ki attack at Cumber. Cumber would hold the attack with great force, and he would easily reject it. Then Grand Priest would come with a kick to his face that would throw him away. "It can't be! Without our father, we won't have a chance," Kuz would say. "Wait, he's not fighting seriously yet," Vegeta would say. "But," Kuz would say, "you are still very young and you have not yet known his power. But we who are older know what our father is capable of," Vegeta would say. Grand Priest would begin to raise his ki, shouting a war cry. Grand Priest would emanate a great amount of energy. His uniform would scream for his muscles to grow. Cumber could feel it. Grand Priest was sacrificing his vitality in exchange for power. "Mr. Cumber, I recommend that you take this seriously," Toa would say. "Yes, I guess you are right," Cumber would say. "It's incredible. Grand Priest could still be stronger," Goku would say. "Why didn't he fight like that from the start?" "Because he is sacrificing his vitality to have that power," Whis would say. "No, it can't be," Goku would say, disconcerted. Grand Priest would arrive as a torpedo towards Cumber, throwing him several meters away. Cumber could hardly react. As he moved away, Grand Priest would reach him from behind, kicking him hard, throwing him to the other side. Then, Grand Priest would reach him again, waiting for him with a great attack of ki at short distance.
"That was great," Goku would say. The angels didn't look very excited. They saw something Goku didn't. "Hey, what's wrong with you?" Goku would say. "Observe," Whis would say. Grand Priest looked agitated. He was spending a lot of energy to maintain that power, while Cumber, while he was somewhat injured, was not enough to consider it a real advantage. "Not bad," Cumber would say. "The truth is that for a moment I was worried." "Curse," Grand Priest would say. Energy flashes would sprout around Cumber. He was increasing his ki. "No, don't tell me he can do it," Goku would say, worried. Cumber would force his ki, transforming into Super Saiyan, and he did it, Goku would say. Everyone was really terrified. Cumber's power was much greater than before. "We are lost," Vados would say. "They have to leave here," Grand Priest would say. "Father, what are you planning to do?" Kuz would say. "I said get out of here," Grand Priest would say. All the angels would begin to flee. Kuz didn't want to go, but Vegeta would take it and take it by force. We would take Goku and take him too. Only Grand Priest and Cumber would remain, face to face, and Toa in the distance, watching. "Mr. Cumber, I think I should pay attention," Toa would say. "Yes, from here you can smell the desperate act," Cumber would say. "Do what you want to do, whatever it is." Grand Priest would throw himself at Cumber with everything, but before he got to him, he would disappear. He would reappear behind him. He would attack him with a kick, but Cumber would defend himself without any problem. Then Grand Priest would disappear again, to reappear on one side, attacking with a punch. Cumber would still hold the attack as if nothing. "It feels like your life is getting smaller for doing this," Cumber would say. "If you want to exhaust your life expectancy in exchange for more power, just do it once and for all." "I'll do something better than that," Grand Priest would say. Grand Priest would hold Cumber from behind. He could not free himself. "What are you doing?" Cumber would say, annoyed. Grand Priest's body would begin to shine, but all the space seemed to distort. "It can't be," Toa would say, terrified. Toa would cover himself in a series of barriers, waiting for the worst. Grand Priest would shine, releasing a lot of energy. Then he would explode, destroying everything in his path. The Universe 10 would be completely affected, generating a great implosion towards the center. "Grand Priest," Goku would say. Our friends were outside of Universe 10, seeing everything. Grand Priest had just sacrificed his life to disappear from Universe 10 along with Cumber. "So, did he beat him?" Goku would say. "We're trying to see that," Whis would say. It can't be, Kuz would say, distressed. Kuz would show an image of Universe 10. Cumber floated in the void. He looked in a terrible state, but he was alive and conscious. It can't be! That giant doesn't die with anything, Vegeta would say. Toa also looked so badly injured. That explosion had crossed its barriers, but he was still alive. That damn, Goku would say, furious. I don't understand why he did it. We can attack him now. If we fight among all, we will defeat him. He's in bad shape, Kuz would say. No, we can't, Bardock would say. Our father didn't do this to kill him. He did it to give us time. What do you mean, Goku would say. Cumber strengthens himself by absorbing universes. In the state he's in, it will be difficult for him to reach another and recover, Whis would say. If he continued like this, he would have won and Cumber would absorb Universe 10. He made the necessary time so that we could prepare. Mr. Goku, it all depends on you, Bardock would say. Me, Goku would say. Then we're lost, Vegeta would say, discouraged. Hey, Goku would say, upset. Goku, get serious. We have to train, Whis would say. What are you talking about? I'm very far from his level, Goku would say. But you have the energy of his reality, so it will be easy for you to acquire his power, Bardock would say. Goku, you were stronger than us. You can beat him, but we need you to train in the Room of Time, Whis would say. Goku would be thoughtful for a moment. He felt the weight on his shoulders. He was the only one who could do it. Okay, I'll do it, Goku would say. But only on one condition. I need one of you to train me. I understand. I'll do it, Whis would say. It doesn't make sense. How are you going to train him if he's stronger than you? Vegeta would say, upset. I'm stronger, it's true. But I have to admit that I lack the technique, experience, and knowledge of Whis, Goku would say. It's not just about power, it's about knowing how to use it.
Size is not everything, Bardock would say. Well, yes, something like that, Goku would say. We have to hurry, before he has time to recover, Whis would say. Whis, take your staff. Even if you are in a room of time, I can give you a signal, Bardock would say. Goku would kick Whis by the arm, and with the teleportation he would reach the Kami-sama temple on Earth. I have to go, Goku would say. Piccolo would say, amazed by his sudden arrival. I don't have time. I need the Room of Time, Goku would say. Yes, it's free, Dende would say. Just pass. Goku and Whis would enter as soon as possible to begin their training. Meanwhile, the angels and the gods would be summoned by the kings of everything. While Toa was trying to reach another universe along with Kun Bear, the kings of everything did not look very happy with what was happening since the situation had gone out of their hands. What a shame, a Zeno-sama would say. Yes, what a shame, the other Zeno-sama would say. Great Zeno-sama, don't take it the wrong way, but you have not done anything about it, Arak would say seriously. You are the kings of everything, the absolute beings, and the strongest that exist. All the gods would be terrified by the rebellion of the god of destruction. Both Zeno-samas would raise their hands, disappearing Arak as if nothing, in addition to his Kaioshin. Does anyone else want to say something? Both Zeno-samas would ask. Everyone would deny instantly. That's how we like it, both Zeno-samas would say. Great sir, Whis is training Goku in the Room of Time. Our father sacrificed his life so that he would not benefit from the Universe 10, Bardock would say. That was smart, a Zeno-sama would say. Yes, that was smart, the other Zeno-sama would say. Let's just hope that Goku can adapt to his new power before Cumber reaches another universe. We believe that he needs one to heal and another to expand his powers, Bardock would say. Where is he now? A Zeno-sama would say. Yes, where is he now? The other Zeno-sama would say. I can't believe it. He just got to Universe 11, Mojito would say. It can't be. It's my universe, terrified Bermuda would say. Cumber would try to heal. He was in the center of Universe 11, along with Toa. That damn explosion almost kills us. Now you must recover completely, Toa would say. I'm trying. I feel very tired, Cumber would say. Suddenly the Pride Troop would arrive. They would all attack Cumber, but all his key attacks would be useless. Jiren would launch the biggest attack of all, but after impacting Cumber,
it would not do him the slightest damage. "Toa, would you be so kind?" Kumber would say. "Yes, sir," Toa would say. Toa would stand in front of the Pride Troop. With a simple movement of his staff, he would launch a horizontal ki attack that would cut everyone in half. Even Jiren himself would not be left alone with life. "I can't believe it. Even that demon is strong," Bermuda would say. Kumber would try to heal. He was in the center of Universe 11, along with Toa. "That damn explosion almost kills us." "Now you must recover completely," Toa would say. "I'm trying. I feel very tired," Kumber would say. Suddenly, everything would disappear around him. They were in the same nothing. "What happened?" Disconcerted Kumber would say. "He loves us," Toa would say. "The kings of everything disappeared in Universe 11. Every time I get to a universe, I will disappear," Zeno-sama would say. "So, if you are not in a hurry to do something to make time, I will end up disappearing everyone so that it does not get stronger," another Zeno-sama would say. "If he continues like this with the rest of the universes, he could realize the Supreme Universe," Kuz would say. "Well, they will have to avoid it, because if the Supreme Universe disappears, which is in which I exist, I will also die," Zeno-sama would say. In this way, Zeno-sama would watch over Kumber, ruining his plans to strengthen, destroying each of the universes he tries to absorb. 6 months had passed inside the Room of Time. Goku was meditating, trying to get stronger and stronger. Whis would guide him in that time, especially so that he could master the Ultra Instinct, although it did not seem to be an easy task. "Wow, we've been here for 6 months, and even though Mr. Goku has progressed, it still doesn't seem to be enough," Whis would say. "I just wonder how everything will be outside." Goku would open his eyes and stand up. He would begin to lift his ki tenderly. Then, he would explode it to maximum, surprising the same angel. "It's amazing," Whis would say. Whis would approach Goku. "How do you feel to face Kumber?" Whis would ask. "I don't know," Goku would say. "I feel different from before, but I don't know if it's enough." "Then we'll have to stay here, although there isn't much I can teach him, certainly," Whis would say. Whis' staff would ring. It was what I didn't want to happen. It was a message from Bardock that they had to leave Universe 7 as soon as possible. "Bad news. If we don't leave here, we'll disappear," Whis would say. "What are you talking about?" Goku would say, confused. "He loves us. Universe 7 is going to disappear. Kumber is about to absorb it," Whis would say. "Come on."
Goku would get really angry. Whatever happened, the elimination of Universe 7 was imminent. Goku and Whis would leave the Room of Time. Dende and Piccolo were waiting for them. "Hey, they didn't even tell us what's going on," Piccolo would say. "Piccolo, we don't have time. I promise I'll fix everything," Goku would say. Goku would take Whis, and with the teleportation, they would reach the planet of Zeno-sama. It was time. Both Zeno-samas would say when raising their hands. Universe 7 would disappear completely. "Was that Universe 7? Goku would say. "That's right," a Zeno-sama would say. "If we didn't disappear it, Kumber would have absorbed it," the other Zeno-sama would say. "Well, I guess there was nothing else to do," Goku would say. "Did more universes disappear?" "Only Universe 2, 6, and 12 remain," Vados would say. "I think Kumber gave up absorbing universes. He's running out of food," Mujita would say. "You know what? If he keeps trying, he'll disappear into the universe before absorbing it." "Then I think I should go get him," Goku would say. Goku would disappear with the teleportation, reaching Universe 12 where Kumber stopped. "Kumber?" Goku would say seriously. Kumber was in better condition, although he had not fully recovered. It was the perfect moment. "What did you decide to face me with?" Kumber would say. "What makes you think you have a chance against me?" "Be careful," Toa would say seriously. "What do you mean?" Kumber would say. "Observe him well," Toa would say. Kumber would realize what Toa was referring to. "Wow, I see you've been training. It seems you've been somewhere where time flows slower," Kumber would say. "I see that the energy of my reality has come to you well. Too bad your friend Vegeta had a hard time." Goku would get really angry at Kumber's comment. That would make him explode. "Suki, I'll make you swallow those words," Goku would say.
Goku would raise his ki to the maximum, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Kumber would be attentive. He would realize that Goku was now a worthy rival. Very well, let's do this quickly, Kumber would say. Kumber would throw himself at Goku with everything, but before he got to him, Goku would disappear. Then Kumber behind him would attack him with a kick straight to his head, but Kumber would crouch just in time. After that, Kumber would attack him with a short-distance ki beam. Goku had crossed his arms just in time, leaving far away, but without getting hurt. You're not doing anything wrong, but it's not enough, Kumber would say. Shut up, Goku would say furiously. Kumber would throw himself at Goku with a strong punch. Goku would dodge it, responding with a hook under his chin. Then Kumber would get to Goku. He would hold him by the neck with great force. You don't want to go too far. You have that power thanks to me, Kumber would say. You should thank me for being so strong. What good is it to be strong if you're going to destroy everything? Goku would say. Yes, it's a good point, Kumber would say. I wish Vegeta had it clear. What did you say? Goku would say furiously. Goku would stall his ki by using Kaioken for 10, managing to get rid of Kumber. Wow, with one of those energy-wasting techniques in exchange for power, Toa would say. He's using Kaioken before planned, Whis would say seriously. What do you mean, Vados? He said he would only use Kaioken if Kumber turned into Super Saiyan, Whis would say. But he has done it before. Goku would attack Kumber with a series of consecutive blows. The giant Saiyan had managed to dodge the first attacks, but after several of them, he had problems. Goku would filter a punch in his stomach, then another in his chest, and a new one in his chin. With the open guard, he would create a ki ball in his chest and detonate it by throwing Kumber away. Damn bastard, Kumber would say. Kumber would transform into Super Saiyan using his maximum power. Now you're getting serious, Goku would say. I will not have compassion for you. I will kill you until you are well dead, Kumber would say. Kumber would impulse himself to Goku, arriving with a strong blow added to the impulse of his body. Goku would receive the blow in his chest, coughing blood. Even so, at the moment, Goku would react by hitting his fist. Damn bastard, Kumber would say. Kumber would stretch his arm, attacking Goku with a ki beam, but Goku would jump just in time. Then Goku would respond with a rain of ki attacks, of which Kumber would easily dodge. Kumber would come with a kick to Goku's ribs. The blow had been so lethal that even the angels hurt to see it. That was a direct blow, a Zeno-sama would say.
Yes, it was a direct blow, the other Zeno-sama would say. Goku would be immobile for a moment due to the great blow he had received. It is when Kumber connects a hammer blow right on his shoulder. Goku would fall at great speed, colliding with an asteroid that passed by. It can't be. Goku is in trouble, Bardock worried would say. Just leave him. He will know how to strengthen at the last moment. Confident, Whis would say. Kumber would join his hands, launching a powerful ki attack. Goku would see the attack in slow motion. I can't lose. Goku would explode his ki at the moment of contact, managing to hold Kumber's attack. After a few seconds, Kumber would stop. What did he do? Kumber would say amazed. Goku's body emitted a strange whitish energy. His hair was white instead of blue. This doesn't make sense, Kumber would say. Kumber, pay attention. It's the Ultra Instinct, Toa would say. It is impossible for a mortal to use the Ultra Instinct, Kumber would say. Goku would pass aside of Kumber as if nothing. Kumber would turn to Goku without understanding anything. Then Kumber would receive a series of invisible blows. They were Goku's attacks that had arrived in a hurry. How did he do that? Kumber would say, pained. Kumber would throw himself at Goku. He would attack him with a fist blow, but Goku would move just as necessary to dodge the attack. Then Kumber would attack him fiercely with a series of consecutive blows, but Goku would dodge them all by going back just as necessary. It's not possible, he's making fun of him, Toa would say, disconcerted. That bastard does what he wants with Kumber. In a moment, Kumber would throw a fist blow. Goku holds the attack as if nothing. He would scream his voice in echo and give him a powerful fist blow to his chest. A lot of energy would come out of Kumber's back. The blow had been lethal. Kumber would put his eyes in white, losing his transformation. "It's time to end you," Goku would say. Goku with a kill attack would disappear completely. He had no doubt in doing so. Although Goku used to leave his rivals alive, in this case he didn't even think about it. He exterminated him forever. "He did it," Whis would say. "He did it," Mojito would say. Yes, Goku is very strong. They would celebrate the Zeno sagas. "It's time to take the dragon's super spheres and fix all the chaos," Kuz would say. "Not so fast," Bardock would say seriously. "What's going on?" Whis would ask. "Didn't you realize that Toa doesn't look worried at all?" Bardock would say. Goku would observe Toa carefully. "She was as if nothing. You don't have to pretend to me," Goku would say. "I know you're the real rival." "Wow, at least you noticed," Toa would say with a special smile. "And what made you think that?" "The death of Grand Priest," Goku would say. "What are you talking about?" Bardock would say. "Let's wait and see what they say." Grand Priest exploded with the entire Universe 10. Cumber was seriously injured despite his great power. But you only had some wounds. And I don't think it was just because of your barrier. You weren't even ready to fight, Goku would say. "Yes, it's true," Toa would say. "I was always stronger than Cumber, but I never let him know it. I needed him feeding on other universes, so I didn't have to do the work for myself. I don't understand. What is the grace of all this?" Goku would say disconcerted. "You wouldn't understand," Toa would say. Toa would start raising his ki. Goku kept the Ultra Instinct, but he knew that things wouldn't be easy now. "It can't be! Toa was the real villain," Bardock would say. "We always thought he was just a servant, but Goku managed to realize the truth." Whis would say, "If he hadn't done it, he might have died for letting himself be taken by surprise." Goku would put himself on guard to attack, but he would hesitate to do so. "It can't be. I can't find an opening in her," Goku would think. "It's as if they were always on guard." Finally, after a long waiting, Goku would throw himself at Toa. He would reach her with a punch. But Toa would hold the attack with one hand, as if nothing. "It's not true! It's not true!" Goku would say disconcerted. Then Goku would attack him with a kick to her face. But Toa would hold the attack again, as if nothing. "I think you haven't noticed that our levels are too different," Toa would say. "I don't care," Goku would say furious. Goku would attack Toa with a big ki beam, but she would invoke a barrier, easily rejecting the attack. "Those damned barriers," Goku would say, upset. In an instant, Toa was in front of Goku. "Now that I don't have a Cumber, I have to get my hands dirty," Toa would say. "And that make me in a bad mood." Toa would put a finger on Goku's chest. With a simple touch, all an energy outflow traveled to Goku's body. Goku's eyes would light up. A large amount of energy would come out of his body, causing great damage, as if he received an internal explosion. Goku would lose his transformation, becoming unconscious. He floated in middle of space without being able to do anything. "I think I'll use you as a replacement for Cumber," Toa would say. "I will fill your body with negative energy, and I'll make you absorb other universes for me." All the angels would appear there. They had nothing to lose, so they wouldn't be left with their arms crossed. "I guess they're going to try after all," Toa would say. "It makes sense. If they know they're going to die anyway, at least they'll do it with honor."
"You say it as if you really knew we lost," Bardock would say. "But you are very far from victory," Mojito would say. "It's time for you to swallow your words," Whis would say. Each of the angels would point to Goku. They would all give him a part of their energy. "What the hell are you doing?" Toa would say. Goku's body would begin to recover. He would open his eyes and his hair would return to white. Goku would observe his hands. He would notice the divine energy run through his entire body. "I'm alive," Goku would say. Of course, Whis would say, and he would vanish. Each of the angels had lost too much energy in recovering Goku's state. "What's going on?" Goku would say, disconcerted. "These fools gave you all their energy to try something. But still, your defeat is something you can't get rid of," Toa would say. "You talk too much. Before you were so quiet," Goku would say. Goku would quickly throw himself at Toa. She would move to one side just in time. Goku's fist would rub his cheek, causing a slight cut. Toa would pass his hand over his face, confirming the blood. "Damn mortal," furious Toa would say. "It may be a mortal, but remember that this mortal was able to overcome the gods," Goku would say. Goku would explode his ki to the maximum, unleashing all his power. Toa would be amazed, since in this case he was afraid of Goku. What will happen now that Goku reaches a new state thanks to the angels? Will Goku be able to defeat Toa? And even more importantly, will Goku be able to return to the universe's fallen to normality? We will know that in the next part of this theory.